story coming out of the Middle East this week has been the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, the billionaire head of Hamas's political wing. And there is something about the coverage of this which feels very wrong and biased. Now, it was almost certainly carried out by Israel while Haniyeh was visiting Iran to attend their presidential inauguration. And according to the reporting by the New York Times, it was not an airstrike as originally thought. He was, they say, quote, assassinated on Wednesday by an explosive device covertly smuggled into the Tehran guest house where he was staying. The bomb had been hidden approximately 2 months ago. If true, this makes Haniyeh's death even more embarrassing for Iran, since the guest house where he was staying was part of a compound under their control. By the way, in an upscale neighborhood of Tehran. But what also sticks out to me is the constant use of the word assassinated. Since this story broke over 24 hours ago, too many in the media have used that word, assassinated. Is that really how we refer to the killing of a top terror leader? If their victims were not in Israel, would this be a, quote, assassination? Terrorists are not assassinated as John F. Kennedy was, or Martin Luther King Jr. was, or the recent attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Terrorists are taken out, or eliminated, or just killed, not assassinated. And the New York Times is in no way the only outlet guilty of sanitizing Ismail Haniyeh's atrocious legacy with his choice of language.
We begin our report with the assassination of the top political leader of Hamas.
This morning, the war in the Middle East spreading as a top Hamas leader assassinated inside Iran.
How significant from where you're sitting is this assassination of Ismail Haniyeh?
A number of political leaders across the Middle East have quickly condemned the assassination.
Assassination, except when it came to a different terror leader that was killed, the word assassination wasn't used by the mainstream media.
The United States has the body of Osama bin Laden, that Osama bin Laden has been killed.
We're learning new details at this hour about the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. Sources are now telling Fox News that bin Laden was not holding a weapon when he was killed.
Tonight, the man who ordered the attack that destroyed the towers is dead, killed by U.S. Navy SEALs.
You mean SEAL Team 6 didn't assassinate Osama bin Laden? Of course not. Would sound ridiculous. And yet there are multiple similarities between Ismail Haniyeh and Osama bin Laden. Both were leaders in groups designated by the U.S. government as terror organizations. Both played a major role in the planning and execution of a terrorist event that overwhelmingly targeted and killed massive amounts of civilians. Both were killed, or in Haniyeh's case, reportedly killed by the forces of the country they committed their terrorist acts against. And both were killed while they were inside compounds within the borders of another country. But unfortunately, this bias is nothing new. Even in the immediate aftermath of October 7th, before Israel had even gone into Gaza, on October 9th, MSNBC and many others in the media were referring to Hamas terrorists as, quote, fighters. Resulted in this moment with the head of the Anti-Defamation League while he was on the air as a guest on MSNBC.
I love this show, and I love this network, but I've got to ask, who is writing the scripts? Hamas? The people who did this, they are not fighters, Jonathan. They are not militants, and I'm looking right at the camera. They are terrorists.
They're terrorists who don't get assassinated. They get what was coming to them. And they should be treated that way by the media, not with sanitized words that elevate these terrorists, dead or alive, to political martyrdom. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.